Welcome to episode 4. My name is Chris, and I'm so grateful you're here. This is a little Monday motivation for you. You don't need a mentor. I don't need a mentor, at least not in the traditional sense. So hear me out on this. Ideally, on paper and in real life, it would be amazing to have a one-on-one, intimate, dynamic relationship with someone who's wiser and older and further along in their journey, giving you advice weekly, bi-weekly, monthly on your life and your challenges and your career and dealing with imposter syndrome and ambiguity and whatever else you're struggling with. That would be amazing. It very rarely happens. On top of that, most of the time, when we want mentors, what we really want is validation. We want to be able to go to this person, tell them our struggles, and their response to us will be, "You're doing okay. You're doing great. Keep going." We're really wanting validation and encouragement, which is not really what mentoring is to begin with. You see, mentoring is this invitation and challenge. It is an opportunity for growth. It's like going to a weight room or your favorite yoga class or whatever it is. If you don't leave there feeling a little sore the next day, you didn't push yourself hard enough. It's the same thing with mentoring. If you don't leave those conversations with an actual mentor feeling a little shaken up, a little lost, a little like, oh my gosh, that was challenging, that was hard. And the next day you're thinking about it over and over, and then you start applying their advice to your life. You don't really have a mentor. You just have somebody listening to your problems and potentially just holding your hand through it, which we all need validation and encouragement. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not mentoring per se. So we need to have a different, broader, wider view of mentoring than we currently have. And that is what we're going to talk about right now. Mentoring can be done through books, through podcasts, through people online on the other side of the world that you'll never be close to in physical presence, and yet they can still be a mentor. Mentoring is this implicit and explicit process through which you take wisdom and knowledge and information and you use it to transform your life. That is mentoring. And it can be done through people that are alive and breathing and have fire in their veins. It can be done through people that used to do all those things. That is to say, they're dead. You can look to people from the past who have gone through experiences similar to your own or far different from your own and glean these little nuggets of wisdom and insight and knowledge and use that to transform your life. Mentoring is bigger than just this transactional, meet me, let me pick your brain, and we'll move on thing. Mentoring is about creating relationships. And you can do that, again, through all these different forms and mediums. Especially the industry that I'm in, which is the design tech scene. And we have these young designers who are just starting off in their careers, and there's constantly this need for mentoring, and they're very vocal about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's hard to find because you'll see a lot more people that need mentors than actual mentoring relationships that are ongoing and happening. Most of the time, anybody who's older and wiser and farther along in their journey, their lives are pretty full. And so the idea of sitting down for a cup of coffee on a regular rhythm is very challenging to fit in. So then there's this inaccessibleness to mentorship that we can address by just shifting our perspective a little bit, which again is to say, you don't need a mentor in a traditional sense. If you are open, if you are authentic, if you are relational, and if you are specific, I guarantee you will find what you need to have these transformative experiences in your life. Incidentally, those are the things we're going to go through right now on tips for mentoring and finding mentors. The first tip is this: be relational, not transactional. So often in this world where people are wanting mentors, it's very transactional. It's set up to be transactional. You have somebody who has already gone through these different phases of their career, their journey, or their life that you are looking towards for advice, right? I need something from you. Can you please give it to me? Most of the time, it's done through in-person dynamics, and every so often it's done through email and Twitter or whatever else it is. But if if we just look at it like a transactional experience, it's not sustainable. Transactions are a one-time thing, typically, right? You get something, you get what you need, you move on, great. But if you're relational, if you build a relationship, if you come with that attitude in mind, that I'd actually like to be friends, to get to know you, I know that you're incredibly busy, have a very full life. I would love to be able to offer some of myself to you on that. Can I ask you some specific questions? That is a much more sustainable possibility for a relationship and a better outcome for everybody involved. Because then the person that is giving the advice eventually will stop feeling like a vending machine, right? They're just dispensing information to whoever asks for it. And there's a lot of people that want that information. And so then it becomes very routine and rote and challenging and hard, and then you become cut off and you don't want to do that anymore. But if you're relational, it breaks down those walls and those boundaries and those barriers. The second point is this: be specific, not ambiguous. We need to destroy in our cultural lexicon the question, can I pick your brain about a few things? Now, I'm so guilty of saying this. I've said this to some very key industry leaders a long time ago, and it took me some time to realize this is not a helpful experience. It's not helpful for them, and it's not helpful for me. Because if I was on the receiving end of that, it feels very much like a time suck. It's a black hole of what are we going to talk about? I have no idea. I'm going into this conversation with literally no idea where you're at, why you need what you need, and why me. And it creates this weird tension off the bat. Be specific. If you were coming to somebody and you were looking up to them and you want their advice about something, be very, very specific about what you're wanting advice from. And this is an inherently transactional thing because you're asking a question, which means you need something, and they'll give it back to you. And so going back to the first point of being relational, we need to do it in a way that is very focused on gratitude and appreciation and building a relationship, and not just, you have what I want it, thank you, goodbye. When you do ask questions, be specific and not ambiguous. If you're coming in with specific ideas and goals and opportunities that you're looking at, it is a lot easier for people to answer those questions than it is the ambiguity of it all. You are far more likely to get a response in an email and a DM if you have straight to the point, direct questions that is not wasting anybody else's time and is not ambiguous. I bet most people will respond to those over that. And if you are somebody who constantly gets emails and questions and DMs, let me know. I'd love to chat with you a little bit more about that, because my guess is that you would respond better to specificity than you would ambiguity. So if you're looking for help in areas of your life, if you're looking to have some sort of mentorship dynamic with a person, be specific, not ambiguous. No more, can I pick your brain over a cup of coffee? It's not going to work out well, no matter how good the coffee is. The third point is this: be open to people, mediums, new ideas, different ways of knowledge coming into your brain and you transforming your life. Mentoring is really about transformation. And so in order to do that, there are people on the other side of the world that you'll never meet that can be mentors to you. There are people that are implicitly mentors. There are a handful of people that I follow on Twitter who I don't ever interact with them, but every week on a regular basis, they are tweeting out these little nuggets that you're like, I needed that information. That was amazing. That's going to help me actively where I'm at right now. We have to be open to those types of experiences. Open to YouTube channels and podcasts and books and people that are alive and people that are dead. That is a better view of mentoring than we currently have. If you can find a one-on-one dynamic, it is amazing. I'm so grateful that I've had those opportunities in my life. But I also recognize now it is so hard to sustain and keep those going and to find them. It's not like there's a database where you can just go in, type in your information, and you get matched with mentoring. Although Tinder for mentoring would be kind of an interesting idea. Nobody's still that idea, please. The fourth point is this: be transformational. We need to be people that are oriented towards transformation and not transmission. Transmission is just information that goes in one ear, out the other. It's useful for tests. You do the test, you forget about it. It's why when we think about our high school years, we really can't remember a ton of the little details that we had to learn in order to pass tests. But we definitely learned information that helped us grow as humans and mature and develop. Mentorship is about transformation, not transmission. And that encompasses the idea of being relational, not transactional. It's not just a binary, I need the information, thank you very much, moving on to the next person. Transformation is about taking advice and wisdom and insight and applying it to your life in order to grow, to get better, to challenge yourself, to push yourself, to accomplish your goals. Transformation is also the openness and recognition that this person right here is not all that I want to be. I want to continually grow. I want to be in a state of growth. And that's why we seek out mentors truly to begin with, right? That's like the truest sense of mentorship, not the idea of validation and encouragement, but that we are looking to grow. We recognize that I can only do so much as myself, that I need insight and help and wisdom to see the things that I cannot see in order to be the person that I want to be. This is not a Dr. Seuss book. Sorry, that rhymed. Doesn't matter. Transformation encompasses all the other points I just mentioned, which is being relational, being specific, and being open. Transformation comes when we take that knowledge and wisdom and insight and apply it to our lives. And if we are open, we will have a broader view of mentorship that is much more inclusive of all the different types of knowledge that's out there and all the different mediums that are out there. Whether it's books, people that are alive, people that aren't alive, people that are on the other side of the world, YouTube channels. It could be whatever aspect of your life that you're getting this information from and you recognize this will help me grow. That is transformation. And that's the type of people we need to be. We need to be open and relational. We need to be authentic, and we need to be focused on growth and transformation. Mentorship is very much about that. This concept of mentoring that's one-on-one, that's intimate, that's over coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is, it's a really beautiful picture of interaction, but it's really hard to find and to sustain. So my hope for you, if you're watching this video and you're looking for a mentor, is that you got something out of this. If there are people that you're wanting to reach out to, don't be afraid to reach out to them, but be specific, be relational. And definitely take their advice. If they give it to you and you feel like it fits. Now there's some advice that's awful. I'm not saying take everybody's advice always. You're gonna have to balance it and internalize it and process it and think through it before you can apply it. But there is some really amazing advice out there. And if you're willing to go find it and talk to these people and build relationships with them, I promise it will go well. Be specific, find those people, ask very, very clear, well-defined questions, and go from there. That's the starting point. That is this little Monday motivation on mentorship. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, please like, subscribe, share this if there are people that need to hear this. Side note, if you're needing encouragement and validation, message me, DM me on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever it is. I'd love to tell you this. You're doing great. If you are open and authentic and being kind and caring to people and focused on your growth, you are doing great. That is the episode for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Have a great Monday. Next Monday morning, another episode dropping. Super excited for that one. Appreciate y'all. Have a good week.